G'day guys, welcome back. Welcome to Pouring Your Heart Out. I thought I would do a bit of a mold making class for you today, and Halloween's coming up, so I thought I might do like a Halloween sort of coaster. So this is going to be a Halloween coaster, but you can also then use it as a blank to remake some molds. So that's what we're going to do today. So we need some little Halloween charms. Look at that. Little Halloween charms. They're just flat back. I think they're just plastic. Could be resin, not sure. And I got a whole bag of them. 100 pieces. So, and I've just sort of picked out the ones that I like the look of. There are more in there. So what you need is, now there's quite a few ways to do this, but because I want to be able to pour resin into this, I need either, can you see that? It's a sheet of plastic. It's a thick sheet of plastic. You know those rolls of plastic and you use them for like tablecloths, and you go to the hardware store and you say, just cut me, a meter off or whatever. It's like that. I've got that plastic on my benches, my work benches here, to stop them getting dirty. So you can either use that, you can use a silicone mat as long as it's shiny. You can use one of these sort of cheap silicone molds. You could do that. So that's an option. The plastic, I can see it's kind of starting to, it doesn't want to sit flat because it was on a roll, so it's kind of doing this. So I'm just worried that it's not going to sit as well as it could. See how it's kind of, it's got that bump there. I guess I could try heating it and see if it'll stay flat, but I don't want to melt it. You've got to be careful you don't melt it. Just heat it so that it lies flat. But might be a better option just to go with the mold. If you've got one of those older cheapy molds, it does need to have a shiny surface though, so don't use one that's all scratched and old and lost its shine. Okay, so that's better. We could potentially use that. Make sure that there's nothing underneath. That is sitting better. Or we could use this one. I don't know. This one, it's going to be, I guess, a little bit smaller, because once you've put your putty in around the edges, it'll be probably about that big, whereas this one I can sort of make as big as I want to. But anyway, I'll have a think about it. So what I'm going to use, and you can use any silicone putty or silicone rubber. I am using the Resin Pro I-Gum. It's the yellow and white one, as you can see. The blue one is a fast cure, and it's a super fast cure. I can't even roll it into a circle without it curing already. So going with this one. I think I will use that plastic. Why not? All right, so I'm going to get my scale out. Now you need your putty worm to be, that deep, because we're going to be setting it inside the putty. So you do need a relatively large amount. We're going to need like maybe 100 grams of A and 100 grams of B. I'm nearly out of this. Okay, I'm going to go 75 and 75. So that'll be 150. I'm going to need my lovely friend Kelly. Hi Kelly, to send me some more. I can't get it in Australia. Kelly, I paid for it obviously, and Kelly sent it to me. So we'll take it up to 150. I think I'm going to have to push the friendship and ask her to send me some more. I'm sure she won't mind. Will you, Kelly? All right, so that's 150. Okay, now what we need to do is we just need to mix this together. Move my scale out of the way. So basically you just need to mix it together feels lovely. It's like Play-Doh until you can't see the white anymore, until it's just all yellow. Obviously it'll go a paler yellow, but yeah, you just mix it until it's all one color. See that? You can still see the white in there, so that's not ready yet. Just take a couple of minutes. And you've got this particular I-Gum silicone putty. It has a good work time, so you know, I can, depending on the temperature of your room, but certainly at least 20 minutes. You know, you can play around with it, position things. Sometimes, you know, when I put my pieces in, I realize that, oh, I haven't got quite enough room to put a whole piece, and I have to take them all out and then re-smooth it and then put them in again. So it gives me enough work time. So yeah, I do like it. And then of course your finished product is quite shiny. But like I said, there's two ways of making this sort of mold. You can either, once you've done this, you can either press that in, and then once it's cured, take it out, and then you can pour resin into that to make your blank. But I want to keep these in as part of the coaster, so that's why I'm going to do it this way. All right, so hopefully my bench is clean. Now it will stick to just about anything, so be careful about where you're putting it. So basically I just want to make a relatively thick kind of sausage. Make sure that that's got enough room to be pressed into, see that? And then basically that'll be our size that we're going to go for. Join that up. Now just be careful when you're picking it up that you're not going to kind of stretch it all out of shape. Don't put it on silicone board, okay? I've got a piece of acrylic on my workbench. So just make sure that you're not putting it on a silicone board to roll it out, because it will stick forever. You'll never get it off. All right, now this, see, I've already elongated it a bit. I don't really want to elongate it anymore. I'm going to make it a bit smaller. Push it in. So the inside is going to be the size of the outside of your mold. All right, pick it up. Try not to elongate it. And you really only have one chance to put this down where you want it, because we don't want any fingerprints or anything in there, okay? Because that's going to be like the top of your piece. You don't want any fingerprints, smudges, smears, so don't touch it in there, okay? Takes a bit of practice. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to carefully, without touching that plastic, I'm just going to push this down a little bit, just so it's sort of on a bit of an angle, and I'm kind of pushing it into, oops, see, I've got a bit of a hole there. Look, it's not going to matter, it won't matter. I do like to just make sure everything's smoothed over. Again, don't touch your plastic, because if you touch your plastic, once you pour your resin in there, it's going to transfer every little mark from that plastic onto the top of your resin coaster. So I'm just gently pushing my silicone rubber like so. So I think it's got good contact. If you don't have good contact all the way around, you're going to have a little lip where the resin's going to get in underneath, if you know what I mean. So try and get that silicone to touch the plastic. Otherwise, yeah, you're going to have a little lip when you pour your resin. Now, not so important, because I'm going to actually use these as part of my coaster, but if you were just going to put these in, then remove them and then use this as your blank, yeah, you will need to push this down. All right, so there we go. Got a lovely little shape there. I'm going to push it back up again. So I'm not rushing. I'm taking my time. I've got plenty of time. All right, so now we get to put our little goodies in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them sort of in the order that I want them, and I think I've got 2 of everything. Just don't sort of want 2 black ones next to each other. So just, and I guess you could do this before you rolled your silicone out. So there's a spider, there's that. Oops, there's another, there's a black ghost. Okay, you can go there. You can go there. Might have to put 2 black things next to each other. It doesn't really matter. Okay, that one's got white on it. So I'm just sort of, oh, and I've got a house as well. That can go there. See, now we're going to have 4 black things next to each other. I don't know really what that is. I might not use that. I'm not sure what it is. Don't know what it is. It's basically just putting them. Oops, I got 2 of those. I don't need 2 of those. Oh no, there's another one. Don't need another one of those. And there's a spider. Anyway, that'll do. That'll do for now. That'll do for now. If I need more, I can go into here and get more. Might actually change that little black ghost to a white ghost, because ghosts are white. All the ghosts I've seen are white. Yeah, anyway. All right, so now, when you're doing this, you got to remember to put them upside down, and you got to put the pattern side out, okay? So that's what we're going to do. Now I'm just going to put them in very lightly to start with, just in case I need to move anybody around. Oops, oh gosh, I touched the inside. Don't touch the inside. Make sure that they're all going in upside down. Otherwise, they're going to be the wrong way around once you have unmolded. So just remember that. Everybody upside down. But I'm not pushing them in just yet. I want to make sure that I've got... See, I haven't got... I'm not even halfway around yet. Oh, gosh. Okay, that's all right. I can get more out. So you might want to sort of work out which ones you want. There's another pumpkin. It's got a little hat on it. There's a different kind of ghost. So anyway, I'm just gonna fill it up. Doesn't matter if there's 2 blacks next to each other. It doesn't really matter. What's that? That's a... Now I'm all out of whack. Upside down, just remember, upside down. You may even want to put them, when you're laying them out, put them upside down so that you don't forget. There's a white cat. It doesn't matter. We'll put a white cat in. Black cat over there. That's a different house, look. It's a different house. Okay, let's put a different house in. And another pumpkin. Gosh, it's taking a lot, isn't it? I don't realise that how many it's actually taking. There's another little spider, and I want to have some more white because I haven't got much white up this end. Actually, I might take that one out and put the white there because I've got white there, and I probably should have another white up here somewhere, but doesn't matter. Upside down. put this thing in. I don't know what it is, little devil creature or something, but I'll put him in and see now there's just enough room, hopefully, just enough room if I sort of shimmy everything along a little bit. This is why I don't like to stick them down. Okay, perfect. All right, now we've got everything in. Now we just push. And I'm going to hold the back as well so that I'm not pushing everything too far out. I don't want them to be like pushing the silicone out too far. Keep them like that. Now, if you were going to, once the silicone cures, if you were going to then peel all these out and use that as your blank, you certainly can, but you will need to make sure that the silicone is higher than the top of your charms, like that. And I actually might do both. I might make the coaster, and then if I wanted to, I could then come back and use this silicone piece as my master. But I have to make sure that I can pour the resin up above it. It's no point, you know, pouring the resin halfway. You have to be able to pour the resin over the top of your little pieces. Otherwise you're gonna only see half of a piece. But for today, I'm not sure if I want to do that. I'm just going to embed them all nicely. Make sure everybody is pushed in and embedded really well. Like so. Oops, you're not. You got stuck on the cat's tail. Make sure that they're in really well, because when you pour your resin in, you don't want the resin getting in underneath any of them, and make sure that you're not going to touch anything either. Like touch the side of the mold, like put a fingerprint there. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. All right, I'm probably just going to have a little play, make sure everything's pushed in properly. And then once it's cured, we'll do the next step. So I will see you then. This is what it's looking like at the moment. I think these ones I'll have to make those a little bit higher at the back. But yeah, the silicone's still got, you know, got more work time on it, so you don't need to rush. All right, see you soon. All right, this silicone putty has cured up nicely, and I was really thinking a lot about what, if anything, I should put in the center. I had a look through my stickers. I didn't have anything Halloween-y. Yeah, I didn't really have anything, and then I thought, oh, maybe a bloom, 3D bloom, or some fireworks, and I thought I'm just going to leave it plain. I am going to tint my resin here with a little bit of black, and I'm just going to use the Color Passion black. I really like this because it's a little push like that, and I just want to have like one drop in there. So I really like that. And I thought I'm just going to do just a lightly tinted black, still transparent, and I think that's just going to set off these little charms around the edge, because it's, you know, it's pretty busy, and I'm doing this to basically show you how to make the mold, not necessarily how to do a 3D bloom, because I've got hundreds of videos on that, so I don't need to do that again. But I do want to put just some color in, and you can see there it's quite transparent still. It looks quite dark because it's in my deep cup here. I am using the Let's Resin Fast Cure. I was just looking at my bottle. I think I picked up the wrong bottle. I was going for the Let's Resin regular, but I've picked up the Fast Cure. But anyway, So I've done 130 grams of A, 120 grams of B, and it's going to give that a good stir, and I am going to just pop it in my bubble removing machine. All done. I was actually planning on using the Let's Resin regular resin, just because I didn't want it to heat up too quickly, and also I can pour it a little bit deeper, but yeah, I picked up the wrong bottle. They're very similar bottles. So anyway, hopefully it'll be all right. So I am just pouring onto my stick and then letting the resin run down. Hopefully I've got enough. Now this is where I just need to be a little bit careful here. Give it a light torching in the middle. I'm not going to torch the edges. I don't want to burn my silicone rubber. So you can see that some of them are still sort of poking up a little. Well, I don't have enough resin over them yet. So we'll put a little bit more in. And this is why I said to you, you do need to make sure that you push that rubber up enough so that when you're pouring your resin, you can actually cover those charms. I just have to be careful that I don't overflow it, because then I'm going to make a mess all over my bench. I am just going to push that up over the charms. That one is a bit high, that one, a little ghosty. But I'm just going to push this, try and get it to go over the top of those charms. Hopefully it won't all run down onto my bench and make a mess. I should have probably pushed the silicone putty up a little bit higher, just to be on the safe side. But I think I've got, like, I think it's all right. But yeah, just to be on the safe side. If you're doing this and you're new to it, you probably just make your sides a little bit higher. So nearly there, just very carefully pushing that resin over the top of each of those charms, so that when I unmold, there's resin on all the charms. That one's got a little bit of point sticking out there. Is that the, oh, that's the end of a ghost. Talking about ghosts, did you all see my ghosty that I made the other day? After this, I'm going to do a few ghosts. I'm going to have a look and see if I've got any glow in the dark micas. I'm not sure if I have. I don't think I've ever used any. I'm going to have a look and see what I've got. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a couple of resin ghosts coming up, and I'm going to do a few different ways. So if you're interested in doing some ghosties for Halloween coming up, make sure you stay tuned and check those out. So I'll try and get all of this out. Pretty close to what I need. And because it's a thick resin, it sort of domes and stays where it's supposed to stay. So hopefully it will be okay. So anyway, that's pretty much me done. I will just sort of push it to the edges a little bit more, pushing the limits here. Pushing the limits right to the edge of my silicone putty, and hopefully it's not going to overflow and run over the edge, because I don't want it on my bench. All right, so I will be back probably in about 6 hours, and we can unmold this. So yay, see you soon. I'm going to go and get organized, have a look and see what if I've got any glow in the dark micas for my next video. So anyway, I will see you in about 6 hours or so for the unmolding. And it looks as if I don't have any leaks, which is great, because it would be awful if your resin leaked out the bottom, wouldn't it? All right, wish me luck. See you soon. All right, it is ready. It did sort of flash cure in the middle, so it kind of mounded up a little bit because it was getting a bit hot. which I expected because I used the wrong resin. But anyway, that's my problem. Now, see these little bits here where it's kind of gone over a little bit. I can just trim them off with my little snippers. I'm hoping I can kind of feel that this backside isn't exactly smooth because I put on that bit of plastic and it was, you know, had a bit of waves to it. So I probably should have gone with my first idea and put it inside a silicone mold. But anyway, we'll see. All right, let's have a look. Look, it's coming off nice and easily. Look at that. Ooh. Okay, so there we go. Last little bit. Okay, there we go. So, there is the imprint of everything. Look at that. Now, if you wanted to, you could use this again for sure. Just put it on a better piece of plastic, a silicone mat inside a mold, and you can definitely use this again. I'm hoping I've got everything the right way up, not upside down. Now let me just trim this so that it looks more respectable when I turn it over. But yeah, I just wanted to sort of give you a little bit of an inside look at how you can sort of create your own mold. Or if you don't want to make molds, that's fine. Just make a coaster with your charms. Any charms. Maybe you want to, maybe you've been to the beach and you've collected seashells and you just want to make it sort of more personal. You can put your own seashells that you've collected, push those into the silicone, and then when you turn this over, you know, you've got a really unique personal coaster that you've made with you know, shells that you've collected. So they've got a nice little story to them, which is always good. Nice talking point. Okay, I think that's, oops, I've got little bits everywhere. I have to pick those up. Okay, so don't judge the top coat, the top. Just looking to see what these charms are going to look like. Okay, all right, move that out of the way so the camera knows what to focus on. Okay, are we ready? All right, here we go. Oh, look at that. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh. Look, love it. Let me put it on some black card there just so that we don't have to worry about seeing any of the reflections and things. Now, let's have a little look at these charms. So, you know, I've got a little bit more sort of tidying up and sanding to do around the edges because I just trimmed it pretty roughly. But yeah, it's looking really pretty. Right, so there's all our little charms. So if you know, poured into the silicone ring that we made, you know, you would have to then paint all your little pieces by hand afterwards, or you could go in with your mica powders and dust them beforehand. But I really wanted just to have all the bright colors and use these charms for this particular coaster. So yeah, it's worked out really well. Happy with it. All right, thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed my video. Let me know what you think. And yeah, just a little handy hint on how to make a live edge mold. And of course you can put whatever you want on the sides. You could press stones into it. I think I've shown you how to do that before. Crystals, shells, charms, whatever you like. It does take a little bit of practice. I don't think it's an easy thing to do. But if you want to get started in your own mold making, this is probably a good way to start. So you can use this as your blank in future. Set it in something and pour silicone over it, and then you've got a mold. But you do have to make sure that your top is beautiful, smooth and shiny. Otherwise, when you unmold it, your mold obviously is going to have the same finish as this. So make sure that it's nice and smooth and shiny. All right, thanks again for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all again real soon for the next one. Happy Halloween. Take care. Bye for now.